Roadside Chat. I am actually broadcasting from an airport in Las Vegas. So it's a casual day. So I get casual days too. So I'm traveling, but here's the question I want to answer. Okay, this is from an actually I don't know where the officer is from, but I think Ohio, but I'm not positive. The question is can criminal history contribute to reasonable suspicion? A little bit of background, right? Anthony, can you do a roadside chat about utilizing subject's criminal history as a factor in articulating reasonable suspicion for a crime? Example, I pull a subject over with an extensive criminal history for drugs. I know criminal history is not enough, but coupled with other factors, can it be used? It's been my experience that courts are reluctant to allow any talk of previous convictions or arrests. What about articulating a pat down? Can it be done? Does it matter? Arrest versus conviction? Man, what a great question. So let's kind of go through this. All right. Number one, to answer the question, can it be used? Absolutely. So reasonable suspicion is based on the totality of the circumstances, and a person's criminal history is relevant when assessing that whether or not they're involved in criminal conduct. Now, the way I teach it is criminal history is useful when it's relevant and recent. Relevant and recent. Okay, let's go. First of all, relevant. If the person has a criminal history for jaywalking, for littering, obviously it's not relevant to a drug investigation. If you are, investigating potentially an issue with a stolen car, or stolen, some kind of theft, does their conviction or arrest for fraud help prove that they knew that the car was stolen? The answer is yes, because that is cheating, that is stealing, that's and so forth. Would a shoplifting investigation, arrest, be relevant to a property, some other burglary? The answer is yes. So relevant. Also recent. Recent is a factor that of course they're going to look at. If the guy has a cocaine conviction from 1984, I got news for you. Everybody had a cocaine conviction from 1984, right? So is it recent? When it comes to drugs, look, I don't have a exact time frame for you, but within a year or two, is a paraphernalia charge, a year ago or so is going to help you. But also remember that some crimes, the timeline is more forgiving. Let me give you an example. A good example is possession of child pornography, right? A sexual assault. A lot of people, a lot of doctors and so forth, they know that people who have committed those crimes in the past very rarely are 100% cured, right? So if you're working a sexual assault investigation and you believe, you want to detain somebody and you know that this person has some kind of sexual assault arrest or conviction from 15 years ago, I would use it. I would put that in my report as one of the reasons why you thought that this suspect may be involved. All right, so there's that. Let's continue. The cop says, I know criminal history is not enough. Very smart observation, right? I've seen this before where some officers tell me, oh man, this guy, he's always in trouble. It's not if, it's not when. It's like, all right, yeah, you might have a hunch, but you cannot detain people simply because they have a criminal history. That would be a violation of their rights, the due process rights, the Fourth Amendment. They don't just walk around with this black cloud over their head forever and say, now they're susceptible to being detained simply because they've committed crimes in the past. So the officer is correct on that. Now, the other thing that the cop brings up, he says, it's been my experience that courts are reluctant to allow any talks of previous convictions or arrests. Okay. So that's where I think the confusion is coming from. It's because he's correct, right? That the court is, when you're on the stand, maybe not so much during a suppression hearing, but during a trial, courts are not, generally speaking, going to allow you to talk about criminal history because it violates rules of evidence, right? So generally speaking, the prosecutor can, probably can potentially use previous convictions if they're felonies and not over 10 years old. The rules are murky. Sometimes they can't even do that because it might prejudice the jury. If you're charging him with sexual assault and he's been convicted of sexual assault 9 years ago, maybe it comes in, maybe it doesn't. But the problem is it's not that you can't use it in the street. The problem is that we're mixing up two different issues. It's that it may violate this person's right to have a fair trial. So in the street, can you use it for reasonable suspicion and probable cause? The answer is yes. But may it not be necessarily spoken to in front of the jury? That's a different issue. Okay? All right. And finally, my officer says, does arrest versus conviction matter? Absolutely. An arrest is way better. A conviction is way better than simply being arrested for something. The arrest helps because, unless it was an unlawful arrest, at least establishes probable cause. But the conviction means that ultimately you had beyond a reasonable doubt. And that is just more telling. So, excellent stuff, all right? Keep it going. Again, guys, I really appreciate the questions. If you want to ask me a question, you want me to do a roadside chat, let me know. And also, one thing I've done, first of all, let me finish my sentence. If you want me to do a roadside chat, answer your question, go to bluetogold.com/show, right? These are the road show, right? And also, often I don't mention your name, or your agency, but if you want me to show some love and actually mention your agency and be like, hey, a cop from LAPD or something, let me know in the on the website when you fill out the form for me to answer your question. I just don't do it because I'm not sure if you guys, the person writing these wants me to do it. But I would like to actually mention agencies if they don't mind. All right, guys. Thank you for all the love and support and just for Blue to Gold. I hope I'm helping you, right? If I am helping you, the way you can repay me is just to hit a like or comment, share with your friends. That's all I'm asking from you guys. I want to keep doing these, but it does help me and motivates me when you guys let me know that, hey, Anthony, these are helping my officers. We're showing these in roll calls and stuff. That's just great. That's what